Please be seated. Special guests, members of the graduating class, parents, families, and friends, welcome to the Laurus College commencement. My name is Jeff Redmond, and I'm the president of Laurus College, and I'm pleased to introduce our MC for today, Mr. Leo Craven.
Thank you, President Redmond. I am honored to MC today's festivities. Today, one chapter in all our lives closes and another, even more exciting one begins. This is a special occasion for our graduates and families, so please silence your cell phones, but feel free to take lots of pictures and videos. And now please stand for the national anthem performed today by Irish Malaras.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at that twilight's last gleaming, whose broad streets and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, where so gallantly stream and the rockets wreck the land amongst bursting in their gay proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say thus that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Ms. Malares. Audience, please be seated. At this time, I would like to invite our Chief Relationships Officer, Ms. Cecilia Mortella, to the podium.
I am pleased to introduce the platform party. Please rise as your name is called and remain standing. Will the audience please withhold your applause until all are recognized? Mr. Jeff Redmond, President. Dr. Cheryl Hayek, Chief Academic Officer. Dr. Nicole Kopit, Dean of Academic Affairs. Ms. Brittany Tate, Director, Audio and Video Production. Dr. Shanna Miller, Director, Business. Mr. Chris Kaler, Director, Digital Arts and Computer Animation. Dr. Dan Morrow, Director, Information Technology. Ms. Rebecca Sandoval, Director, Medical Billing and Coding. Ms. Wendy Flores, Director, General Education.
Today, we are honored to have with us Mr. Dan Miller. Dan is a self-proclaimed history buff. And although many people consider historical research to be work, Dan calls it a hobby. Visit his home in Illinois, and you'll be surrounded by history books and memorabilia, particularly those related to the Marine Corps and law enforcement. Dan's passion for history grew more and more intense during his 30-year career in the U.S. Marine Corps. While serving our country, Dan's experiences included multiple deployments, more combat than he cares to remember, and too many friends and fellow warriors lost. Dan struggled for many years, but ultimately was able to overcome life's toughest challenges. Today, he spends his time helping others, raising awareness for the issues faced by our nation's veterans and inspiring all of us to find hope in our lives. Please join me in welcoming a man who has dedicated his life to service. From the Wounded Warrior Project, Mr. Dan Miller.
Very good. Appreciate you. Before I get rolling here, I gotta do my little setup thing here. I have a timer. Beep. Okay. As my bio and my introduction states, I spent 30 years as a Marine. And before I go any farther, if you're a veteran of our nation's armed forces, please raise your hand. Let's give these men and women a round of applause. On behalf of myself and my family, my son and my daughter, and even my ex-wife, I would like to say thank you for your service to our great nation. What you did helped pave the way for those that continue to serve our country, wear the cloth of our nation, and protect the rights that all of us hold so dear, one of which we are exercising right now, the right to assemble. For those of you that didn't serve in the military but support our nation's warriors, I'd like you to also get a round of applause. I can tell you firsthand, as a combat Marine, that when you're out there and the days are long and the nights are cold and you don't know whether you're going to come home or not, knowing that your loved ones and the people back home support you and love you makes all the difference. It gives you the energy and the spirit and the drive to keep putting one foot in front of the other and move forward. Keep doing what you need to do so that one day you can return home to those that love you. So I thank you absolutely for your support, as I'm sure your loved ones do as well. I come from the city of Chicago. They call it the city of big shoulders. I call it really, really cold. When I left there a couple days ago, it was like 14 degrees. And when I walked out of my hotel this morning, I brought my winter coat with me, and the front desk lady was just looking at me sideways like, what are you doing? And I realized you guys out here in California always seem to have nice weather. So I put my coat away. I was raised by my mother on her own. My father, unfortunately, was nowhere near. And my mother instilled in me something from a very young age, service to others before self. So at the young age of 17, I convinced her to sign me into the United States Marine Corps, and I went off on my great adventure. And I have to say that my first duty station after graduating from the School of Infantry and becoming a machine gunner in the infantry, I went to Hawaii. I thought it was pretty cool. Back then, my mother, you could go to the gate at the airport. I know some of you are like, what? You could actually go to the gate with your loved one and you didn't have to stay on the other side of TSA, or you could bring something larger than 3 ounces of toothpaste. Yes, it actually did happen that way at one point in time in our world. But things do change. But my mother came with me to the gate, and as I was getting ready to get on the plane with a bunch of my fellow brand new Marines, she handed me 3 tubes of SPF 5000 because I am a ginger. And she said, please put this on every day. The sun's hot in Hawaii. I said, you're right, Mom. And you know, I had a wonderful time as I started my adventure. And then in 1990, a man named Saddam Hussein decided to invade the country of Kuwait. And I went to combat for the first time. And that was the first time someone ever shot at me, and I realized that this was for real. But as a young man, I didn't let it bother me. And I stayed in the Marine Corps until my mother passed away. soon after. And I left active duty and I went in the reserves. And then I became a police officer in the city of Chicago and then in the suburbs. But I stayed in the Marine Corps, and I finished my tour of duty in 2015 at the rank of Sergeant Major. But also, I had 2 combat deployments before I retired. I had the honor and privilege of leading men in combat, losing 16 of my brothers in combat, getting hurt November 11th, 2004, Veterans Day, in a place called the Triangle of Death, seeing what man can do to man, the true brutality of war. But it also taught me a lot of things that I didn't realize I needed to learn. Self-reliance, self-discipline, the idea never to give up, the idea to always push forward. I continue to do that to this day as I dedicate myself to try and help those men and women that raised their hands on their own accord and went off to do a job that a lot of people, less than 1% of this country, have ever experienced. Now, it does not make them better, does not make us better than anyone else. It just makes us a little bit different. Everyone here has lives. Everyone here has different things that go on in their lives. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. And we all collectively just try and live life to its fullest. We want to take care of our loved ones. We want to take care of ourselves. We want to move forward in life, not backwards. These graduates, and by the way, I understand this is the first graduating class here in Chula Vista for this college. Is that correct? Yes? I think that is another round of applause right there. These graduates have done something that no one else has as the first graduating class here in Chula Vista. And even more so, they're all adults. They're all people that have been through life already, in a way. They've all had work, families. You know, I never had the opportunity to go to school when I was on active duty. I was too busy running around as a Marine. I didn't go to school until I got out. And I eventually did get a degree, and I remember how important it was to me to sit where you folks are and the sense of accomplishment. In the Marine Corps and in the military, there's a saying called 0 dark 30. For those in the military, they understand that means you're going to get up at the crack of dawn when everybody else is sleeping. And nobody likes 0 dark 30 because you'd rather stay in bed. But you see, in the military, when you get up at that time, that's because somebody has directed you to do so. And you have a mission and a job, and there's someone leading you someplace, and you have to do something. These folks, many of them, I'm sure, had work, have jobs already, are trying to do stuff, have families. But yet, on their own accord, doing it on their own, I got up at 0 dark 30, pushed through everything else to do the homework, to get the job done, to get a degree, to make themselves better, to make this world better, to sit where they sit here today. And to me, that's the most incredible feat that anybody can do, to be able to push forward and move hard and not quit and set a goal and never let anything stop you. I've struggled for years with post-traumatic stress disorder because of things that happened in Iraq and a traumatic brain injury. And the physical injuries healed with me, but the emotional and mental ones I still struggle with on a daily basis. But when I get to see people here today that have worked so hard for what they've earned and understand that they did it on their own with people probably pushed them a little bit, but at the end of the day, nobody took the test for them. They did it on their own, and they did it because they wanted something. They wanted to learn. They wanted to make themselves better and make this country better. because what you're doing, you are the future of this country. People that you go to school and you learn and you get better at things and you become leaders and you take over and you make this country better. And it's such an incredible thing to see and be a part of. As I said earlier when I was talking to somebody, I'm not even related to you guys, and I feel like a happy dad. I'm just very proud of each and every one of you for what you've done. And you know, all of us come to forks in the road in life. And as I told my son, when you come to a fork in the road in life, you have to make a decision. You cannot just stand in the middle of the road or you become a hood ornament. You either go to the left or you go to the right. But you have to make a decision. And the decisions that you made to get to school, to get that degree, to take that fork in the road, I hope and I pray will lead you, all of you, to nothing but good, and to help you support your families and help you support your communities, because you deserve nothing but the best for what you've done. I'm very proud. I know that your faculty is very proud of you, and I know that your family is very proud of you. In closing, I just want to say that every morning I get up, and I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I get to travel the country and I get to meet people that are nothing but honest, nothing but hardworking, and they believe in our military, and they believe in this country. It rejuvenates me, and it helps me heal just a little bit more each day. And I feel the love in this room, and I see the joy and the pride in the people that are sitting out here supporting you, and I see it in your eyes as well. But I'm going to ask you to do something if you want to. It's not an order. I'm a retired sergeant major. I can't really order anybody other than my dog around, but every morning I get up, and there's a poem called Invictus. The last two lines of that poem go like this: I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I look in the mirror every day and I repeat that. And that reminds me that I am in charge of where I'm going to go in life. And I am in charge of how I do it, and my morals and my standards and what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it right even when no one's looking. Thank you. God bless you. And I wish you, I'm going to steal this from the Navy, I wish you fair winds and following seas. And that means that as you move forward, I hope the wind is always at your back, and I hope that the ride isn't too rough. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Next, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our first student speaker, Miss Stephanie Lopez, who was nominated by her instructors for the honor of speaking on behalf of the graduating class. Stephanie is one of this year's many outstanding Laurus College graduates and received her bachelor's degree in business systems management. Please welcome to the stage, Miss Stephanie Lopez.
Hello, fellow graduates, faculty, and esteemed guests. My name is Stephanie Marlene Lopez, and it is an honor to stand before you to share my journey in earning not one, but 2 degrees with Laurus College. My educational journey has been filled with many trials and tribulations, starting as early as high school. I was the kid that wore cat ears to high school, even after Halloween. I was mocked and criticized with people telling me I would not amount to much. Growing up in San Bernardino, unfortunately, this was true for many. It was heartbreaking to see neighborhood friends fall into drugs and crime. For a while, I was heading that direction myself. But through determination and perhaps a little bit of spite, I graduated high school in 2013 with a nursing scholarship. After high school, home life became difficult and college wasn't an easy option. Between being kicked out and dealing with my mother and stepfather's substance abuse, I chose to work because money was a necessity. To be honest, I lost hope in my education. I felt like giving up and retreating into unhealthy coping mechanisms. After a year of not doing much but partying and making great memories with some amazing people, I decided to go back to school. By then, though, I had lost my scholarship. I waited too long. I enrolled to a degree in human services at my local community college, but once again, I didn't finish. Since the age of 16, I've suffered from sciatica, caused by compression of the sciatic nerve. This condition creates pain that radiates from my lower back down my leg. At times, it has left me in unbearable pain and unable to walk. During my time at community college, I tried my best to soldier through it, but a breakup took a toll on me in many ways. It all became too much, and I dropped out. I thought to myself, this is it, I'll never accomplish getting a degree. For a while, I bounced from job to job, mostly warehouse and fast food positions. For my leg, these were terrible choices, but the money was enough to get by. No matter how hard I tried to stay in good health and good spirits, I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with my life. My mental health suffered, and my body began to feel the strain. One day, everything I had been holding together came crashing down. I fell on the side of the street, which caused my sciatica to worsen dramatically. I lost my job and had to move back in with my mom and stepfather. By this point, our relationship had improved. It wasn't perfect, but I'm grateful that they took me in with no money and no hope of finding a job. For months, I lay in bed, wasting away, with no desire to do anything but sink further into substance abuse. Even to this day, I don't recall how I was put in touch with Laurus College, but it was a gift from above. I don't know where I'd be today without their guidance. With the help of financial aid team and my amazing student advocate, Liz Gutierrez, I began my new journey in April 2019 to earn my occupational associates in medical billing and coding. I also managed to secure a small job at a computer shop. Thank you, Kevin. Which allowed me to attend classes and afford Wi-Fi at home. Once I received my laptop, being able to take online classes was exactly what I needed. Things started to improve. Even with my sciatic nerve pain, it began to lessen and I could enjoy life again. I began dating my now boyfriend, and for the first time in a long time, I was truly happy. The year 2001 began, and I had no idea of the challenges it would bring. On January 9th, 2021, my mother passed away. Words cannot explain the pain that came with losing her, and despite her struggles, my mom was an amazing person. Losing her was, and still is, difficult to live with. My mental health took a toll, and I knew I needed some time to process everything. I reached out to Liz, and without hesitation, she arranged for me to take time off and to focus on what needed to be done. I'm so grateful for the love and support I received during those dark times. Family and friends rallied around me and helped me grieve and pushed me to finish school, and I did. In June 2021, I earned my occupational associates in medical billing and coding from Laurus College. This accomplishment helped me secure a position as a medical biller in my current job. The knowledge I gained in my courses allowed me to grow within the company, earning promotions and pay raises, but I wasn't done yet. In early May 2021, after completing my final class, Liz reached out to me to check on me. She let me know how proud she was of my accomplishments and asked if I considered continuing my education. Encouraged by her belief in me, I decided to pursue my Bachelor of Science in Business Systems Management. In July 2021, I embarked on a new chapter, feeling unstoppable as a seasoned alumna, but on September 15, 2021, tragedy struck again. I lost my stepfather. Losing my mother earlier in the year had taken a huge toll on him. He lost his soulmate, his best friend. I don't think he could bear to live on without her. They were both cremated and laid to rest together. My stepfather played a significant role in my life. Thanks to him, we had a roof over our head and food on the table. For 20 years, he treated me as his own, and I never doubted his love. I miss them both dearly and wish they were here today to share this moment. 2021 was filled with heartbreak. Along with losing my mother and stepfather, I also lost my dear cousin and my step-grandparents. My mental health suffered deeply, and I began to detach from everyone and everything. But thanks to the incredible love and support of family and friends, I was able to step out of the shadows and move forward. I sought help from an amazing therapist who helped me see that life goes on, and with determination and support, I continued. Today, despite all the obstacles and challenges I faced, I stand before you with my Bachelor's of Science in Business Systems Management. Words cannot express how proud I am to say this. Growing up, I was led to believe I wouldn't accomplish great things. Well, look at me now. I did it. We did it. To anyone who might be doubting themselves, remember, we are greater than what others say about us. We are even greater than what we may say about ourselves. Standing here today with all of you is proof that with determination and hard work, we can accomplish so much. With every hardship comes an opportunity to gain knowledge and persevere. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie, and congratulations. Next up is our second student speaker, Mr. Michael Alexander, who was also nominated by his instructors for the honor of speaking on behalf of the graduating class. Michael is another outstanding Laurus College graduate and received his bachelor's degree in digital arts and computer animation. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Michael Alexander.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, graduates, faculty, family, and guests. I stand before you as a proud graduate at Laurus College to celebrate the occasion, the graduation class of 2025. It was an honor to work alongside all the talented students, instructors, faculty here at Laurus College. I'd like to first congratulate all the students present and commend the perseverance, sacrifice, and commitment involved in the academic achievement. I would also like to thank the instructors who committed immense effort to providing the best education possible, along with the faculty who facilitated this experience. I'd like to thank and acknowledge the support and guidance of the faculty and family members that work so closely with these exceptional graduate students. Sometimes changing your lifestyle is necessary to get what you want out of life, but in the end, it is what you want and not what you settle for. Just like anything in life, just like anything in life, sometimes what we want can come at a price that fluctuates depending on circumstances, but we all face these choices at some point in our lives. In my experience, it's not what happens to you in life, but how you deal with it. Focusing on the goal rather than the outcome can make a big difference in academic success. My time at Laurus College was an experience that I could take with me for the rest of my life and contributed to my successful transition into a much more stable lifestyle. Alongside numerous barriers, obstacles throughout my life, I was able to persevere and achieve the diploma that I set out for. This was only possible by having the right mindset at times, and at times forcing myself to see the bigger picture and not letting go of it. Growing up, my home life was in shambles, and although Mom loved me, she struggled with a mental health diagnosis that caused me to experience a lot of pain, and somehow made the best of it during my hours at school. I would go to my best friend's house, and we would do art all day, which helped to block out some of the events that would stick to my mind, even though I had nothing to do with it. Issues at home and my mom's mental health situation caused me to bounce back and forth from grandma's house and mom's house a lot. They lived about 4 or 5 hours away from each other, so it was really challenging. My childhood was not easy, and I cannot say the same about the public schooling system, unfortunately. I struggled through the public system with conflicting policy differences between different counties. Similar to the current state of affairs, the elected leaders cannot find a way to keep the system fair, consistent, and just selfishly settle for different systems and do not take the child or his or her environment in mind. Due to the credit requirement differences between traditional school schedule and this new pilot block schedule system, I wasn't able to graduate. with all my friends. Then, because of that, I went to a charter school, lost a bunch of my work, and it caused me just to give up on the diploma completely. My life up to that point, I decided to, at the very least, just get a high school equivalent diploma. Was somehow missing a void or a semblance of value, considering I was sure that I had the potential. After the initial fear wore off, I realized that I had more than one try at the equivalency test and wanted to see where I was as far as knowledge. I didn't have time to study at the time, but needed to know what I needed to study to focus on that, to utilize my time, as the occupation that I held at the time required a lot of hours in the day. To my surprise, I achieved an above average passing score and achieved, and passed the test, which propelled me to set out for a degree. I would not have known that I had a chance to pass the test if I didn't overcome my fears and just take it. With this boost of confidence, I knew that I would set out to do what I always wanted to do, get a degree in video games. I researched for about a year. I even wrote an email to Blizzard's hiring manager, get some advice. After researching all the schools, I decided on Laurus College, as they offered online courses at the time. I was working as a manager for a traveling family business that took photos at pre-planned, fairs. Online courses were still very new at the time, but I thought I could fit it into my work schedule at the time. After a lot of trial and error, I realized that a healthier lifestyle change was necessary for me to achieve what I set out to get. This was a massive undertaking, as I've been managing the business since I was about 17 years old. This is all I knew. In hindsight, I believe I could have set myself up a little better, but that's not how life plays out sometimes, and you just have to do what you have to do with what you have. I walked away from that profession and decided to go all the way, with school. But how? Well, walking away was one step, especially if it's an unhealthy and not progressing to the right goal. I was able to drag out my living situation at hotels, motels for some time, but ended up being unhoused. I still didn't have the best I could at school and tried my hardest to not fail any classes. After some time, I knew I needed something to change. I ended up getting into legal issues, forced into a program by the court. This was actually the best thing that happened to me, and is part of the reason I'm standing on this podium right now. Back to the drawing board from the program, right? I was not going to fail this time. I locked myself a job in behavioral health position during the pandemic and just stuck to the routine every day and included classes. One day at a time. I excelled at my profession as a monitor for a COVID-19 hotel and ended up getting a promotion to a nonprofit case manager in the field of social work at a permanent supportive housing facility. After stabilizing my situation and actually finding correct school-life balance, I was able to achieve the accomplishment. The path to success may not always be smooth or easy, but if there is even the slightest chance I can motivate or influence, a person, it's well worth it. Everything that happens to us, or barrier that we get through, makes us stronger and can be taken advantage of with the right mindset. Many times I thought about the inability to achieve success, but I kept fighting through it. As we sit here, we go forth with our lives. Let us carry with us the lessons and experiences that make us who we are. Let us not let the experiences get the best of us, but let the best of us experience success. Babe Ruth once said, "Every strike brings me closer to the next home run. Strength from strife." Let us use our knowledge, skills, and influence to uplift those around us and contribute to the success of all of us as a whole of society. Graduates, I have every confidence that you will go to achieve remarkable things regardless of whatever life throws at you. Just stick to it. Congratulations once again, class of 2025, and may your journey be filled with opportunities and success. Your efforts are sure to make a positive impact on society and the world. Continue to grow, learn, and use the experiences that you go through, whether positive or negative, to grow your ability to strengthen yourself. Do not be afraid of change and do whatever it takes to achieve what you decide you want in life. Believe in your abilities, never be afraid, and follow your passions. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, and congratulations. Our next speaker is Chula Vista's mayor, Mr. John McCann. Mayor McCann is a lifelong Chula Vista resident, a decorated Iraq War veteran, and a successful small business owner. His educational background includes graduating from Bonita Vista High School and earning both a bachelor's degree and master's degree in economics from San Diego State University. Mr. McCann continues to serve his country as a full commander in the United States Navy Reserves and is also a consummate community volunteer, having served on the board of directors for the South Bay YMCA, the Chula Vista Boys and Girls Club, and ASO Youth Soccer. Please welcome Mayor John McCann.
Well, thank you very much for everybody being here today. This is a great, incredible, great event. First, I want to thank all the graduates. Your commitment and your focus is something that's going to help you and your families. So please give them a round of applause. Now what I like to do is just have, if you can, all the graduates just stand up real quickly, please. The first is, what we need to do is make sure that we recognize our professors. These not only are people who teach you, but they truly care about you. And this college is tremendous because you are the first graduating class. So give them a round of applause. Now, the people that may be here for you, that are your family, friends, relatives, they support you tremendously, and they are here to support you. So please, you can turn around, face them, and give them a round of applause. You can now be seated. Wow, that was great. I wish my council members would listen to me like that. I'm John McCann, and I'm very honored to be here today. Please give Calvary Chapel Church a round of applause for allowing them to be here, us to be here. And if Stephanie and Michael, if you guys could just stand up again, give them a round of applause. They did great speeches. And growing up in a single-family household with my mom, working at the Rohr Industries factory for almost 40 years, being a latchkey kid, again, it shows that people like you, again, you can persevere and you can do great things in America. Also want to make sure that we, Sergeant Major, go ahead and stand up. Dan Miller. When I was in Iraq, I was a contracting officer, and I can tell you, people like Dan were the people that protected us, were able to help us, I believe, win the war and be able to help the Iraqi people. Give him a round of applause. I remember when my wife would always sort of talk to me about the Navy Reserve thing. I've been very fortunate to be in the Navy Reserves for 24 years. And she would always sit there and go, in the beginning, okay, Navy Reserves, what happens if we go to war? And this was back when, prior years, we had one Desert Storm. We were the world's only superpower. And I would tell her that, and I said, you know, the worst thing is the unit that I'm currently with, I wasn't with them, but back in the days of Desert Storm, all they did is go down to North Island. Worst thing is I would be in an aircraft carrier. I was an aviation storekeeper at that time. And so no worries. And then what happens? 9/11 happens. And we are the whole world is shocked. And obviously, we need to be able to make sure that we defend ourselves. So the war in Afghanistan happens, the war in Iraq happens. And I was very fortunate to get my commission at that time. I was a Navy lieutenant. I know about 70% of you are military veterans. And there's a little difference between the Army ranks and the Navy ranks. And there's a little difference in the cultures, right? Even with the Marines, right? My friend who's a Marine always say that, yeah, I'm in the Navy, but he's in the men's department. But the reality is because we had 2 wars and the administration at that time didn't want to go to a draft, they said, how are we going to get all these people to do combat and combat support? They said, hey, look at all these Navy reservists. We can mobilize them and they can help be boots on the ground to support our Marines and our Army. So I was one of thousands and thousands of Navy Reserve members that were mobilized during that time. I went off to Fort Jackson. We were all trained. It was a great time because we were all Navy, and it was all the way from E3 to 06. And I still remember we had these Army drill instructors that would be yelling at us all the time. And we were doing this one practice, and we're all in a Humvee. We all got to get out. We all we were using M4s at the time and get into position. And one of our sailors went ahead and started running, and he just eats it. And so the drill instructor goes over and starts yelling at him. And he stands up, and it's one of our captains or 06s, it would be a colonel in the Army. And then he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir." And so it was amazing just to see what was happening. So we go off to Kuwait, we get Army convoy training, and then I'm the only person who gets to go up to Mosul, Iraq, Camp Diamondback. And so I'm wearing an Army uniform. I have the 2 bars. It does say Navy, but nobody sees that since I'm the only Navy guy there, and I'm a contracting officer. Everybody's calling me captain, which was the same as a colonel. I answer the phone all the time to the lieutenant, and it would be captains in the Army, and they would say, "Lieutenant, I'm telling you, I'm ordering you to do this because, I outrank you." And then I'd have to say, "No, you actually don't outrank me. We're the same rank." So there were all these funny stories between our cultures. But one of the things that I did was we were trying to bring in 16 to 30-year-old men in the area to make sure that they actually had jobs. And they would do different construction projects, infrastructure projects. And it was amazing because when they would come in, they would all sit there, and through the interpreter, the first thing what they'd say is, we're the big Satan. They would have all this propaganda that they would repeat. And then after a couple hours, they'd sort of say, through their interpreter, "Hey, Lieutenant, can I get some jeans? Hey, can I get some tennis shoes?" Things like that. And we'd sort of talk about that. And then what would happen is then they'd start talking about sports, and they didn't necessarily have a great understanding of geography. They knew I was from California, but they would sit there and think that maybe I was around. It wasn't LeBron James at that time, but it was Kobe Bryant. They'd say, "Hey, do you know Kobe Bryant, and can you get a shirt from him?" And I'd say, "No, I can't." And then they'd say, "Hey," they'd watch all these movies and everything. And again, the lieutenant's from California. He must know some of these people that are in the movies because it's from California. And they'd say, "Hey, can you get me a date with Angelina Jolie?" And I would say, "Well, she's dating Brad Pitt now, or married to Brad Pitt. And, I used to date her," which was a joke, but, it can't. But there were 2 things that were fascinating. they would always be shocked. They unfortunately, it was the Sunnis, it was the Shias, it was the Kurds, and all they seemed to do is be so tribal and want to hate each other. And it was unfortunate. And when I was there, we were one team, one fight. And I still was fascinating because I would have one of my individuals that would work with me, and he would come over and we were friends, and they would just like be shocked. And then they would ask me, how do you like Bill? And I go, because we work together. We're Americans. We're my friends. And they go, but he's an African American. And they were shocked at that. And then I had another time when it was a Hispanic American, and I would always say one team, one fight. And we have to remember that in America, we all have the same rights, and we all have to work together, and we all have to respect each other to make sure that we live in peace and prosperity. The other thing is, you are doing something very, very special. Because after a while, many of the Iraqis, we would build that relationship. And the number one thing they would ask me is they would say, Lieutenant McCann, I want to come to America to go to college. Because if I can go to college, I know I can be successful. I can bring my family. We can actually provide for my family. I can provide for my children. And that was the number one thing. So I want to tell you, you are doing something special today. Because throughout the world, people want to come to the United States. They want to be here, to have the freedom, the prosperity that so many other places in the world does not have. And the number one thing that they want to do is come here and graduate. And you are doing something special more than anybody else has done. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor McCann. Laurus College's Dean of Academic Affairs, Dr. Nicole Kopit, will now give the final salutation to the graduates.
Hello, graduates, families, and honored guests. My name is Dr. Nicole Kopit, and I am the Academic Dean here at Laurus College. Before we invite you to walk across this stage, we would like to take a moment to celebrate a truly remarkable achievement. Graduation is just not a conclusion of a chapter, but an opening of your next extraordinary journey. For many of you, especially with a military background, the milestone represents more than just academic success. This is a testament to your resilience and your commitment to duty. As you step forward into this next phase of your life, I want to reflect on some core values that have brought you to this moment today and that will guide you onward. Nelson Mandela once said, "The greatest glory in living is not falling, but rising every time we fall." And we've talked about that a lot here today, and we've heard some stories about that today. So, I have no doubts that you will move forward and rise again every time you fall. Your education has prepared you not only to act, but to inspire others to do the same. The world needs your discipline. We need your courage. We need your unwavering commitment to make a difference. And as you move forward, remember this: the best way to predict your future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln said that. Now you have the tools to shape your destiny and the courage to face whatever comes your way. Graduates, you are now ready more than ever, through your education, your innovation, and your leadership, to give the world your great contributions. Congratulations. This tassel was worth the hassle.
Thank you, Dr. Kopit. All right, we will now proceed with the awarding of academic degrees. Please note that while not all 124 candidates were able to attend today's ceremony in person, they are present with us in spirit and will be recognized alongside their colleagues in the commencement video we will be posting online. Will the platform party please stand? Academic directors will now proceed to present the candidates for degrees from each of their programs, while Mr. P.J. Pangelina announces each candidate. Audience members, please remember, cheering is encouraged.
Will the candidates for the Associate of Science in Audio and Video Production please rise and come forward?
Joseph Fernandez, Associate of Science, Audio Video Production. Joyce Vaughn, Associate of Science, Audio Video Production.
Congratulations, audio and video production graduates.
The candidates for the Occupational Associates in Professional Business Systems, Associate of Science in Business Administration, and Bachelor of Science in Business Systems Management, please rise and come forward.
Jessica Robertson, Occupational Associates, Professional Business System. Angelique Salinas, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Dejanay Moore, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Victor Sibayan, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Ray Reliamas, Occupational Associates, Professional Business Systems. Reynaldo Osteria III, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Grace Ann Santos, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Herb Ruffin, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Elaine Alexander Ang, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Christopher Quazon, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Shanti Ubide, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Megan Shepard, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Lex De Los Reyes, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Rodel Manuel, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Dorothy Nicholson, Associate of Science, Business Administration. Susan Lord, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management. Ashley Smith, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management. Monica Abelo, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management. Antonio Rochur, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management. Jacob Barrete, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management. Ruel Gizon, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management. Emeritus Magpali, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management.
Yes, I did it!
Ryan Tallo, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management. Rufino Aguinaldo, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management. Robert Weiss, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management. Evelyn Gilbert, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management. And Stephanie Lopez, Bachelor of Science, Business Systems Management.
Congratulations, business graduates.
Will the candidates for Bachelors of Science in Digital Arts and Computer Animation please rise and come forward?
Michael Alexander, Bachelor of Science, Digital Arts and Computer Animation.
Congratulations, Digital Arts and Computer Animation graduates.
Will the candidates for the Associate of Science and Information Technologies and Network Systems, the Bachelor of Science and Information Technology Systems Management, please rise and come forward.
Roberto Garcia Jr., Associate of Science, Information Technology Systems Management. Kyle Anthony Rochur, Associate of Science, Information Technology Systems Management. Sophia Montoya, Associate of Science, Information Technology Systems Management. Cynthia Meza, Associate of Science, Information Technology Systems Management. Ernest Cloud, Bachelor of Science, Information Technology, Systems Management. Marcus Jackson, Bachelor of Science, Information Technology, Systems Management. Vincent Baniket, Bachelor of Science, Information Technologies and Network Systems. Cedric Maralik, Bachelor of Science, Information Technology, Systems Management. Neil Edward Tamu, Bachelor of Science, Information Technology, Systems Management.
Congratulations, IT graduates.
Will the candidates for the Occupation Associate in Medical Billing and Coding please rise and come forward?
Sherman Ann Henderson, Occupational Associate, Medical Billing and Coding. Daisy Joy Mercado, Occupational Associate, Medical Billing and Coding. Eunice Armenta, Occupational Associate, Medical Billing and Coding. Daniel Rhodes, Occupational Associate, Medical Billing and Coding. Krista Lynn Blue, Associate of Science, Occupational Associate, Medical Billing and Coding. Jasmine Damien Meza, Occupational Associates, Medical Billing and Coding. Benjamin Isidro, Occupational Associates, Medical Billing and Coding. Giselle Sanchez, Occupational Associates, Medical Billing and Coding. Alejandra Rodriguez, Occupational Associates, Medical Billing and Coding. Kendra Barron, Occupational Associates, Medical Billing and Coding.
Congratulations, Medical Billing and Coding grads.
Will all the associate degree graduates please rise? It gives me great pleasure to present these graduates. They have completed their prescribed course of study and have been certified for the faculty for the award of their associate degrees. Please move your tassel from the right to the left. You may be seated. Will all the bachelor degree graduates please rise? It gives me great pleasure to present these graduates. They have completed their prescribed course of study and have been certified by the faculty for the award of their bachelor's degrees. Please move your tassel from the right to the left.
Would all graduates please rise? By the virtue and authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees in the state of California and Nevada, I hereby confer upon to you the degrees to which you are entitled. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Laurus College class of 2024.
On behalf of Laurus College, I want to thank all of you for joining us today in recognizing our students for their tremendous achievements. Thank you also to the faculty and staff for their efforts in making this event a huge success. I would like to welcome back onto the stage Mr. Dan Miller, who has a special presentation he would like to give.
I don't want to take any time because I know there's an after party. Mr. Rocher, can you come up here, please? So, a little bit of a backstory. Mr. Rocher is the one that reached out to the Wounded Warrior Project. And I live in Chicago and I bounce all over the world, or not the world, the states. There's only 9 of us for the country. And when my coordinator reached out and explained the importance of this, I reached out and I had a chance to speak to him. And it's my decision where I go and who I speak to. When I talked to him and the passion and the pride in his voice on the phone, I knew immediately that I was going to take this on. And flying from Washington, D.C. to here, 6 hours on a plane, I never thought for a minute that I didn't want to do this. In the military, there are many traditions, and one of those traditions are called challenge coins. And the history of challenge coins came back to World War I. American and French pilots made these wooden coins, and they carried them with them. So if they were shot down, they could give it to the Germans, and the Germans would treat them a little bit better because they were officers. But they also designate what's called esprit de corps, and that is faith, trust, and pride in your unit. The class of 2025, you have esprit de corps because you have faith, trust, and pride in your teachers and your fellow graduates and your family members. But I thought, from my heart to your heart, on behalf of the CEO of Wounded Warrior Project, I would like to present you with a challenge coin, and the only two groups of people can hand these out. The CEO of Wounded Warrior Project or one of 9 speakers from our group from the country. On the front it says the greatest casualty is being forgotten. So let us please not forget those men and women that have served our nation. On the back it has our mission, which is to honor and empower our nation's wounded warrior. Sir, thank you for what you've done.
All right, one more thing. Before we conclude this celebration, and congratulations to Mr. Roger, thank you for that presentation, Mr. Miller. Please direct your attention to the video screen for a special message from those faculty who are unable to attend today's event in person.
You did it! Congratulations, graduates. You have proven that you're capable of greatness.
As we close this chapter, we want to take a moment to celebrate each of you and the remarkable journey you have completed.
A journey filled with determination, growth, success.
Whether your path led you through the vibrant world of audio video production, the innovative field of digital arts and computer animation,
or the transformative realm of information technology system,
you have shown us the power of your passion and commitment.
You've mastered the intricacies of business systems, embraced the creativity of web design and development,
and brought care and precision to medical billing and coding.
Skills that will
Your hard work, your resilience, and determination have brought you here.
This is more than a milestone. It's a launch pad.
As you step forward into your postgraduate journey, know that we are so proud of you,
Inspired by you, and excited to see the impact you'll make.
Here's to your future, filled with endless possibilities and new horizons. Congratulations.
This brings our commencement to a close. Family and friends, please allow our graduates to exit first, and then you can join them for refreshments outside on the patio. Thank you so much, everybody.